So we decided to shoot a load of establishing shots at the beginning of the short film to create a sense of isolation and also set the tone and the pace of the short film.
So we really like the shot because it reinforces Luca's isolation, and it's got a nice depth of field pull in there as well.
Yeah, from a cinematographer's point of view, I really like the colours in the background and how we got the silhouette of the character's face, and it's really nicely framed.
There's a bit of a glint in his eyes as well, which just really shows his despair really. And also in this cave scene, I tried to get a really good cave ambience and synchronize all the cave drops up just to make it really immersive, so that the audience really felt that they're, really there in the cave of the character. At this point I tried to get Luca to try and act a bit hesitant. He kind of fumbles about before when he reaches for the dictaphone, which we're trying to show how he's in a bit of a ropey kind of mental state. He's kind of not really there. He's kind of breaking down a bit. He's
like reluctancy.
Yeah, and he's also kind of reluctant. He's not really sure about what he's doing yet.
Yeah, because this marks like the beginning of sort of that end sequence. This marks the decision. He's gonna go. He's gonna jump. So this is where it all starts.
My name is Emmanuel Walker. I'm the final survivor. I've been wandering the wastelands in search for life. I'm yet to see any. Every day is a struggle. The elements are against me. Nature is against me. My survival skills have allowed me to hang on while others didn't. But my existence is torture.
I included the Luma blends to show the passing of time and a variety of locations, and it adds diversity into the editing as well to show that we're not just using typical cuts.
Yeah, this Luma blending technique it's also good for showing how the character's sense of time and his sense of memory is just kind of fading away, where he's just losing his sanity from just being alone.
As if like
so long.
All his memories are just blending into like one.
You just
can't. Yeah.
Your face. A tender touch. A warm embrace. It's the small things I miss the most. A warm coffee in the morning, a cold beer in the summer, family barbecues, a Sunday roast. I decided to head to the south coast. The sound of the waves is my only friend now. There's only so much silence a man can take. I'm tired of having one-way conversations. Every day, I'm more alone. Loneliness and confusion have consumed me. I'm starting to lose my sanity. I can't see any reason to continue my tortured existence. Previously, my thoughts fluctuated from survival techniques, where to sleep, where I'd find my next meal. Whereas now, all I can think about is what would be the least painful and the quickest.
Originally we planned to use quite a lot of desaturation in the film, as post-apocalyptic films conventionally do. For example,
The
Book of Eli,
Yeah.
The Walking Dead will have quite a lot of desaturation. But when we looked at the footage, we found it was a bit too lifeless and dull and not really very realistic with too much desaturation. So we ended up with not using it that much.
Yeah, and because of the locations we were using, we had a lot lot of greens and blues. So if we desaturated it a lot, then it just didn't look like realistic, and it just compromised the quality of the shot, which obviously we didn't want.
Exit. I record this as my final message.
We decided to frame this shot with the rock in the foreground out of focus, and used a combination of sort of the low angle and depth of field to add that variety to our shots, and it also makes it more immersive for the viewer and sort of as an observing kind of role, and I quite like that about this shot.
Yeah, you really get up and close with the texture of the rock.
To pass on to someone who is hopefully stronger than I. As this.
We decided to use a couple of close-up shots towards the end to really capture the raw emotion and what it feels like to be the last person on Earth and ready to make the jump, and it sort of adds to this connection between the viewer and the character, and really captures the emotions of the scene.
It's also reinforced by the end of the narration, which again just helps to add to the dramatic tension.
Yeah, it's quite an intimate shot really. You can see the details on his face, and you can see him breathing in and out, and with the audio I synchronized the sound of an inhalation and an exhalation with the breathing you see on the screen, and I really tried to emphasize the exhalation. I added a lot of reverb which made the exhalation sound really long, and I thought that was important because it really kind of symbolized that sense of release, really, as it comes to the end of.
Like symbolic of his last breath.
Yeah, like up until that point, it's really building up this climax. You know, the notes hold in to build up that climax on the cliff, but then there's this exhalation, and it's kind of like he's starting to have a bit of a release, really.
Decided to use a long shot for a practical reason, and it really gives the impression of that he is in fact standing on the edge of the cliff top, because all you can see beyond that sort of supposed cliff edge is the sea. So it shows that, you know, it gives that impression that he is in fact on the edge, ready to jump, and, you know, obviously will commit suicide. And also from a health and safety point of view, there was a platform and a ledge just below him, so we managed to create that really good you know, look realistic feel in a practical way, which was a good solution.
Also, the wind spit as a location we use for shooting, it is summarised in this one shot. I mean, you've got the textures of the stones, the cliffs, and then you've got the sea in the background, and that basically is what that setting is.
Yeah, and in the background you've got the sound of the wind and the waves crashing, which are, you know, louder than ever at this point, and it's quite this shot kind of gives closure to it in a way, because you can see the horizon. It's kind of tranquil in a way, and at this point Luca's got a very dramatic pose, and he's kind of surrendering and in his last moments, and it's kind of brings a nice closure to it, a nice yeah.
A subtle kind of connotation here also is that, I mean, you can see the horizon in the background of the sea, and it kind of symbolises like the edge of the earth, like the end of the world, and then you've got this link with Luca just about to end his world. So with our final shot of the film, we felt that the character almost had to leave something behind, and that's shown here. But it also shows Luca's insignificance almost, or the character's insignificance. Then it just shows that all he is chalk on a wall, effectively.
And it's also quite symbolic, because it's sort of come full circle from like the dawn of man and like cave drawings, you know, at the end of the apocalypse. He's gone back to writing on a cave and leaving his mark, so it's sort of come full circle.
Yeah, we thought that was quite a poignant note to leave the film on, because it's quite powerful, because it goes straight to the core of that fundamental human drive to like almost want to leave something behind.
And like leave
He-
your
he-
mark.
Yeah, he couldn't just go. He had to leave something, even though maybe no one would see it. He just had to do that.